Hello, in this short video, we are continue to cover the leasing opening balance migration from legacy system to Dynamics 365. I am Mohamed Aamer. I'm a senior product manager in Dynamics 365 Finance. In another video, we have covered the first approach of migrating the data from legacy system to Dynamics 365, where we migrated the data at the migration date and also keep track of the lease history in the payment schedule, liability schedule, and depreciation. In this video, we are going to cover the other approach where we are going to migrate the data of the leases in a point of time, and we won't track the historical scheduled transactions in asset leasing. This will entail longer steps. So we have our cutoff date from the legacy system, last day in June, and the opening balance is July 1st. Here we have the opening balances of the lease accounts are posted through the general ledger, so it is not through the leasing. And then from the leasing, we need to post the initial recognition at the opening balance date. And to make sure we have the proper opening balance of the right of use asset and the lease liability, we will need to use the deferred rent carryover in order to ensure we match the ending balance from the legacy system. Of course, this transaction will affect the right of use asset and the lease liability balances, so we will need to manually reverse that generated transaction. Here we have the trial balance in D365 as of end of 2020 before migrating the leasing module. So let's take a note of the right of use asset balance and the liability balance. So these are the closing balances for both of them. Then moving to the data preparation. So we have all the data, the cutoff date, the commencement date, the lease term, remaining periods, and ending balance of the right of use asset and liability. Here, the lease start date will be June 1st, and this equal to the opening balance date. And the lease term remaining periods is 18, and we need to make sure the system will calculate the opening balance of right of use asset and liability to equal the ending balance. Because in Dynamics 365 Finance, we do not have a specific fields to define the opening balance of the leases. So we will need the system to calculate the beginning balance of the asset and liability using the logic of the module. And here we will need to use the deferred rent carryover. Here we will need to calculate what's the amount we need to plug or enter in the deferred rent carryover. And this will be the asset ending balance minus liability ending balance. Here the data in the lease itself, we plugged in the deferred rent carryover in minus, as we showed it in the previous slide. The lease start date is July 1st, and here the payment start date July 1st, and the number of periods is 18. And this represents the remaining periods of the lease term. After posting the initial recognition, here the initial recognition posted in July 1st with this transaction. Now let's check the calculated initial right of use asset and liability. So they are not matching the original lease right of use asset and liability because the system here calculates the right of use asset and liability based on the data we have provided to the system. Here in the payment schedule, the payment starts at July 1st, and we are starting the periods starting over from period 0 or 1, depending on the annuity type. And here we have the present value calculated based on the information we have provided to the lease. Moving to the liability schedule, this is the beginning balance at July 1st, and we have the beginning balance of the asset depreciation at July 1st as well. So, as a reminder, the present value is not matching the original lease, assuming if you enter the same information of the original lease in asset leasing, it will not give the same present value, assuming this is a net new lease. And also, we have the beginning balance of the liability and asset. Both are matching the ending balance of the legacy system. So at this very moment, if we print a trial balance from Dynamics 365 Finance, we will see the right fuse asset and the liability are double. And this because we have the balances posted two times, one time from GL and the other time from asset leasing. Here we will need to reverse the transaction which posted from asset leasing manually. In other words, away from the asset leasing module. And the reason why to keep the balances of the asset leasing correctly, because if we reverse the transactions from the asset leasing module will not find any balances to report. Now we are reconciliation or comparison between the trial balance before migrating the asset leasing and after reversing the transaction manually. So both are matched. The conclusion here in this approach, the leases are migrated or commenced in D365 Finance at the migration date. The lease subsequent measurements will be posted from the asset leasing module for the remaining periods, starting from July 1st in this example. The lease historical data will not be tracked in the asset leasing module because we started over at the July 1st at commencement date, as well as the periods will start from period 0 or 1 based on the annuity type. That's it. Thank you.